Okay, we're on chapter 21 and I'm going to do the high-low method. Now, the high-low method is probably the easiest thing you're going to do in accountancy, but students get caught with this because number one, they forget about it, and number two, it appears in different types of questions. Now, we said this chapter is really for unit or management accountancy, which is question 8 and question 9. So it can come up in your flexible budgets, which is question 9. And that's not a topic that comes up a lot, but you're starting to throw it up a little bit more, and it can appear in either one of the questions, and it's coming up in marginal costing, which is question 8. Now, high-low method is used to separate your mixed costs. Remember, we talked about mixed costs in the first video. So in your mixed cost, you need to know how much of it is fixed and how much of it is variable. I'm going to do the most difficult question. I'm going to do question 5 on page 499 with you. So I'm going to write down the steps here first of all, and then we're going to follow the steps and fill it in. So step 1, you get the highest output and cost. Now, if we look at question 5, sorry, it says separate production overheads. So go to your production overheads, and I want you to write down the highest cost and the lowest cost. Okay? And then step 2, I want you to write down the lowest output and the highest output as well. So the highest output was 36,000 and the lowest was 24. And these two figures correspond. Okay? Step 3, calculate the difference. So step 3 is just take them away. So the difference in units is 12,000 and the difference in cost is 51,360. And then when you have that done, you can do step 4. You can calculate your variable cost. Per unit, PU is per unit. And it's the difference in your cost over your difference in your units. So the difference in the cost was 51,360 and the difference in the units was 12,000. If I divide this in, I've worked out my variable unit, my variable cost per unit. Now step 5, use your total cost formula. Remember, your total cost is your fixed cost plus your variable cost to find out your fixed cost. So I'm going to do it for 36,000 units. Now for 36,000 units, I know that my total cost is 170,160. And I know that's made up of my fixed, which I don't know what it is, plus the variable. Now the variable, you've made 36,000 units and it costs 428 per unit. And this is coming from the answer here. So that means my variable costs are 154,080. So I'm able to work out my fixed cost. It's the missing figure, 16,080. So you figured out your variable cost. So in the exam, when you do this, you would actually put a square around that and a square around your fixed cost. But like everything in maths, step 6, we're going to check that we're actually right, because you're going to be using these figures in the rest of your questions, so you need to make sure they're right. Now to do a check, we're going to do the very same steps in step 5 with the lowest. So we're going to look at the total cost is 118,800 is equal to my fixed cost plus my variable. My variable is 24,000 units by the cost per unit, 428, and again we should get the same answer. And that is part A done for that question. Now what I want you to do before you continue with the video, I want you to pause it now and I want you to try to do the other overheads into fixed and variable before you watch my answer. Okay, so you've tried this, so let's go through it slowly again. If you got it right, just have a look at the answers and you can skip over this part, but just go through it slowly again. You write down the highest output with its corresponding cost. You write down the lowest output with its corresponding cost. Step 3 is you subtract the highest from the lowest. Step 4, you get your variable cost per unit. Remember, this PU is per unit. So it's 67,320 divided by 12,000. So per unit it's 561. Then you're going to look at what happens with 36,000 units, because 36,000 was my highest output. So I know total cost is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost. So the total cost was 209,880. I don't know my fixed cost. I know I'm making 36,000 units and each unit is 561. So filling that in, I get my fixed cost is equal to 7,920, and I checked it with my lower units and I got the same answers. And that is part B done of the question. Part C of the question is going to get you to apply some of the figures that you've used in this and to look at what cost would be at a different capacity. So it says find the number of units produced when a company operates at full capacity. Now I've said 24,000 units is 60% capacity. So I know 1% is 400 units. I'm looking at full capacity, which is 100%. So 100% would be 40,000 units is full capacity. So this particular factory can only do 40,000 units. So that's full capacity. So they want us to see what happens with 40,000 units. Now my materials, you know from the notes that we did are a variable cost. So the more you make, the more these are going to increase and increase. So 468,000 is equal to 24,000 units. I want to find out how much is 1 unit, which is 1950, and I want to know how much will it be for 40,000 units. So if I make 40,000 units, direct materials will be 780,000. Now I want you to follow the same steps I've done for number 2. I want you to find out how much would be the direct labour if I made 40,000 units. Okay, so let's look at your direct labour. 432,000 is equal to 24,000 units. So 1 unit is equal to 18. We're going to be making 40,000 units. So your labour is 720. Now part 4, we want to work out our production overheads. Now remember, we're looking for all of these for 40,000 units because that's our full capacity. Okay, so your production overheads are slightly different. They're made up of the fixed part plus the variable part. So your production overheads, the fixed part is 16,080 and the variable part is 428 by the number of units, which is 40,000. Okay, so let's work this out. So that's 171,200 plus the 16,080. So my total production overheads is 187,280. Okay, can you stop the video now? And I want you to see if you can get the other overheads. I'm going to keep going and put it up, but I want you to stop and see, can you calculate it for full production? So number 5, your other overheads. Again, they're made up of the fixed cost plus the variable cost. Now other overheads, the fixed cost is 7,920 plus the variable cost is 561 per unit, and you're making 40,000 units. So again, you're just figuring out the total cost there. That's 224,400 plus 7,920, that's 9. So your total cost is 232,320. That's 232,320. So again, I want you to check that for me. So just to finish off this, the question asked, can you see the cost incurred if it was operating at full capacity? So the layout here is the exact same as the layout they've given you for 60%, 80% and 90%. So the materials we know will be 780,000. The labour will be 720,000. The production overheads 187,280. The other overheads 232,320. Now the admin we know is a non-manufacturing expense. It's an administration expense. It is fixed, so it doesn't change. So that's the easiest one. So you just have to put in the 80,000. Then if you add all of these up, you're going to get your total cost. So 780. $1,999,600 would be the total cost. Now, when you get that figure, just have a quick look at your 90% figure and just see, are they kind of nearly similar? So your 90% one is 7 and 6. So that is 13, 14, 15, 16. It's about 1,700, and that's 1,900. 1.9 million, sorry. So it's roughly around slightly higher. Just make sure it's something similar to what is there for 90% capacity. And that's the full question done on the high-low method.